Okay, guys, so we need to talk about these drones again. I know we're all sick of hearing about it, but there are certain things I want to discuss here because so long as these drones are unidentified and technically considered to be UAP, there's also going to be footage going around on the internet being shared by larger creators of what's it's fake, okay? It's fake footage, some of the stuff. And I want to do a retraction in my last video, or at least a correction. Uh, in that last video, the alleged drone crash, apparently there's no record of this from the local state police being given. So we're just going to knock that out as it could be fake. Who knows? It could be something else. It hasn't really been identified to my knowledge, so I don't know about that. The doorbell camera footage, the first clip in that video. I was wrong. I should have looked a little further into it. I would have seen that it was a CGI channel that shared it. It was a hoax. So we're going to go ahead and just put out right now that first piece of doorbell footage in the last video is not legitimate. So I just want to issue those corrections to myself. And I feel that larger creators should have the same duty when it comes to these two pieces of footage that I'm going to share with you guys that they shared. Before I get into some actual good audio and footage that I would like to share with you guys that was shared by Angry Astronaut and originally posted by Avocado Flight. It's very good audio between a Medevac plane and a flight control, as well as several other planes where they witnessed a UFO. And we're going to get to that later in the video. But first, I need to do some debunking. Because I don't want to be like McWest here, because I genuinely believe in the UFO topic. But making blatant fakes like this video, check this out. This really hurts the community. Now, why am I saying this is fake? The drone in the video isn't fake. That's real. That's a real piece of footage. The shooting at this drone, that is fake. That is digitally altered. It's not real. And people are sharing it around as though it is real. And it's a proven hoax at this point because the original footage is on YouTube and there is no shooting. That was fake. And it's been shared around as though it's real. I do have footage that could be genuine of Iran shooting at a UAP, which I will also share later in the video. But the footage you just saw, fake. And I just want to get that out there because other larger creators, as far as I've seen, have not issued a correction. The ones that have shared it. And I want to start holding other channels as well as this channel. I can at least hold myself to the standard. I can't make other channels do anything. But I can hold this channel accountable. And make sure this channel shares only the realest of footage that I can get. And if something is not legit, I will make another video correcting that. And hopefully most of the people that saw the other video will see it and understand that I was wrong and I'm admitting it and I'm man enough to own up to my mistakes when I'm wrong. Now, what I want to point out in the next piece of footage, it originally fooled me too. And it was also shared by larger creators. It turns out this is not what it looks like. Check out the footage and then we'll discuss it.
Oh! No way! Yo! No way. You got good footage? Good footage? Oh, they bugging! This crashed! Yo!
This was going around as an alleged drone crash, which I originally thought so too. It took me an entire day before I found out that this was actually a plane crash. Even the people that filmed it thought this was a drone. They even say in the video it's a drone. And it turns out that's not the case. This was a plane manned by two pilots that happened to crash for some reason. So this is not what it looks like. We can immediately rule this out, and I would like it if other larger channels heed the message that I'm giving out in this video And please, for the sake of the mass hysteria being caused by these drones and the UAP phenomena as a whole, for the sake of the research going into this, the people that take this actually seriously and don't just share footage for the sake of it looks cool, even if it is digitally altered, please, you need to correct yourselves because you're giving the public the wrong idea. And I don't feel that we should be doing that. I feel that we should be trying to give the best, most authentic footage possible. Now, we can't always guarantee that everything is real, but if we can at least look into the backstory a bit, and if we can immediately rule out that the footage is fake, then we should do that. We should very much admit when something is wrong. And yeah, I don't care if you shared it already. Just come out and admit that the footage was fake. Or not even admit it, but just correct it. Don't just forget about it and let it lie. Because other people will still watch that video over time. I have videos from 6-7 years ago that still get views today. And I've always tried my best to make sure that what I was showing was authentic. At least to the degree of whether or not there's a real explanation that's easily findable. And if there's an easily findable explanation, I've also in prior videos debunked things. I've debunked footage in the past that I thought wasn't legitimate. It was something I would occasionally do, and that was only when the footage was going viral. And in this case, I feel that I need to do the same duty here and debunk what I find to be illegitimate footage. There's also a lot of talk of a psyop going on. I'm not going to completely rule out that this could be a psyop. There's actually admittance from the government that they don't know where these things are coming from and it's not an enemy nation. Great. I don't think it's from another, from a company like Amazon or FedEx at this point, because they would have had a press release already telling everybody to calm down. We're just testing. And that hasn't happened. We don't have answers yet. And the local authorities, they don't believe it. If these things were actually, you know, alien technology, say they're just alien tech trying to blend in with our technology and trying to follow our laws to stay up in the sky and spy on us the best they could. And maybe their technology isn't great for flying around in Earth's atmosphere, because anti-gravity technology, from what a lot of whistleblowers have stated, is not good in Earth's atmosphere. It wobbles, and it's only good if you're like actually traveling, which is why it goes belly forward, as Bob Lazar said, and as the Tic Tac footage shows. This particular narrative that this is another country, if it is, the U.S. government should be taking it more seriously. However, if it's not, then maybe we should stop spreading it around. I'm not saying the government's telling the truth, because you should never believe your government at face value. You need to see some kind of evidence to see that it's true, and you need to really scrutinize that evidence to make sure what you're looking at from the government is not a psyop or lie. They do lie. They do misdirect. Richard Doty had a job for a reason. If you don't know who he is, you're probably better off that way, but let's just say he was one of the best misinformation agents in the UFO field that the government ever had. And to this day, he's still out there telling stories, and who knows if any of them are true. Probably some of them are, because the best way to give misinformation is mix it in with real information. And that's honestly probably what he's done. Now, there's a lot of stuff I just don't believe that he has stated. And there's a lot of stuff that, you know, this video is not about him, but a lot of stuff that's been stated by the government at this point that you just don't know. But I have no reason to believe that after 80 years of lying to us about the UAP phenomenon, that we should suddenly turn around and say that because the government's saying it's legit now in 2024, a much different time, that they're lying about the subject entirely. Because we have speculated, millions of people have seen things and speculated for decades now that the government is covering up UFOs. Even J. Allen Hynek, the head of Project Blue Book, changed his mind on this and had no incentive to do so after researching well over 1,000 cases. It's like 11,000 cases or something. I think he researched into, and 700 of them were completely unexplained, and a lot of them were just terrible explanations that he regretted giving, but had to do so because the Air Force wanted him to. Why are we not questioning the Air Force? Why are we not getting Air Force officials, like the highest people in the Air Force, into Congress to speak? Why are we only bringing in people from the Pentagon? Of course, they probably know something, but why are we not bringing in the military apparatus that has been at the heart of this phenomenon since Roswell? Granted, the Army grabbed Roswell, but it was taken to Air Force bases, as far as the legends go anyway. And I think that we need to start looking into the main source of past disinformation and past cover-ups, and that's the Air Force. It's been their domain, and I think that we as a nation should be trying to scrutinize them a little harder. And I think that the disinformation is having us looking at the Pentagon and not at the Air Force. I think that's a big issue here. I think that we should be paying a lot more attention to them. And maybe now even the Space Force, but they don't have a real history with this. I would say the Air Force, certain people in the Air Force are the ones that need to be in front of Congress and talk to, even if they're hostile witnesses, whatever. But there's more to this situation than just looking into history. But if we do, there's a lot of evidence that the UAP phenomenon, this could be all legit. There's been document dumps like the MJ-12 documents, which are disputed. I'm not saying those are legit, and quite a few of them have been shown off as hoaxes, and then some of them are inconclusive, and it's very hard to say. But there's been a lot of other documentation and whistleblowers and other things over history, as well as very good pictures and other governments that have not been able to explain certain sightings and things like that, looking at the UK specifically, but other places as well. And then we have people coming out and saying these things are happening with no real incentive to do so. Like David Grush, there was no incentive for him to do what he did. Now you could say maybe these people were lying to him, but why did they go through the trouble of trying to discredit him, digging up his own personal medical history, and then using it against him when the guy was a soldier who served? Of course he had PTSD. That's super common. And I'm not going to get into the details because they're very sad, dirty, and YouTube wouldn't like them. But that's not a reason to discredit this man. I just get really upset about the amount of misinformation that goes around. Fake footage. We're doing this to ourselves. We don't need the government to be a psyop because we psyop ourselves by making this fake footage. By making fake narratives for cash. That is the biggest psyop in the UFO world. The fact that people are out there making CGI hoaxes and things like that to make money off of. That is a psyop. The government has to do nothing in this subject to lie to us because we'll do it ourselves. And that is something that we really need to work on as a community. There will always be bad actors, but we need to try a little harder and do better when it comes to analyzing the footage we're analyzing. I'm going to get off my soapbox for a minute now and go over the audio that I wanted to talk about earlier in the video that I find super interesting. And I know some of you have probably already seen it, but I do want to discuss it a bit because it reminds me a lot of a video that I made in the past, which I'll link at the end of this one specifically so you guys can check it out if you don't already know the story, of a Japanese airline pilot who witnessed something very similar. I'm going to go ahead and play the audio though for you so you guys who haven't seen it, I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's very long, but for you guys who haven't seen it, I'll play the most important parts of this audio so that you guys can have an idea of what this plane and several other planes witnessed. Check it out.
Hey, Center, Horizon 2207, got time for a question?
Horizon Air 2207, go ahead.
Hey, just wondering if you have any aircraft at our 10 o'clock, looking out over the coast that you're aware of? Kind of some interesting looking lights out there, not satellites, but maybe aircraft.
How far out? Because I do have an aircraft that you're 10 to 9 o'clock and about 120 miles out.
Possibly, yeah. It looks like at least 4, though. Something's flying. It's not satellites because they're changing direction. And it's strange looking. I've seen this a few times over the last month in the same area.
Horizon Air 2207, Roger. How far out at your 10 o'clock and are they at a similar altitude as you?
It's really hard to tell. They seem quite far and probably the same altitude or higher.
Roger. Thanks for the report.
Thank you.
Safety Center, yeah, 1596.
1596, bud.
Is there any military activity out straight ahead of us?
1596, no, we're not seeing anything. I had another one report at like 30,000 feet in the Eugene area. We're not sure what it is.
Yeah, there's lots moving out there.
1596, yeah, they're looking into it.
Thanks.
And where is that at for 661 Lima Fox?
661 Lima Foxtrot, okay, bye. You know, to 1596, does it still look like it's in the Eugene area?
Yeah, just straight west of Eugene. I mean, we're seeing 3 or 4 targets. You know, they're all altitudes, up and down. It's pretty crazy.
You know, 1596, does it look like it's about at the at your altitude at level 260?
There was some at 30 probably. But I mean, they're shooting way up. We'd say maybe up to the 50s, it looks like.
1596, thanks. Medevac 1 Lima Fox, did you copy?
Yeah, I heard it. We'll be looking. 661 Lima Fox.
Medevac 1 Lima Fox, considered North Bend Airport.
Check North Bend Airport. And is there traffic actually out about our 2 to 3 o'clock? About, I don't know, 20, 30 miles?
Medevac 1 Lima Fox, no, is that the 4 different lights going up and down? I'm getting a few reports, but you're seeing it right in front of you now too as well?
It's 2 to 3 o'clock off, about 2 to 3 o'clock from our position. Looks about 20 miles going in circles.
Medevac 1 Lima Fox, yeah, we're not seeing anything, getting lots of different reports out there, some at 30, some all the way up to 50,000, about 3 or 4 different lights. Does it look like they're around your altitude now?
No, there's one way up high and one about my altitude. Moving in like a circle, like a corkscrew pattern.
Medevac 1 Lima Fox, roger. Medevac 1 Lima Fox, just looking into this a little bit more. Could you give me another more accurate report, please?
Alright, I'm visually have eyes on what looks like an aircraft strobe that's at my 2 o'clock and 22 miles. At my altitude, and I'm actually showing him on TCAS. Do you see that one?
Medevac 1 Lima Fox, I do not. Does an pilot's discretion maintain 1-4000?
Set maintain 1-4000, Medevac 661 Lima Foxtrot. He looks like he's moving towards, it looks like it's moving towards the north. Like I said, 22 and a half miles off my right wing, Medevac 661 Lima Fox. And center, Medevac 661 Lima Fox.
Medevac 1 Lima Foxtrot, go ahead.
Just had another one show up about my 1 o'clock, about 1,000 feet high, zipping towards us and then back out towards the ocean. It's red in color, moving at extreme speeds. I don't even know how to describe how fast he's moving. 661 Lima Fox.
Medevac 1 Lima Foxtrot, roger. You are cleared to maneuver as necessary, left and right, to avoid the UFO out there, and all the reports you've given us are good information. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yep.
Medevac 1 Lima Foxtrot, any chance you're able to film any of that?
We're trying right now, 1 Lima Foxtrot. It's weird. It's a red circular shape, and it keeps zipping out towards the ocean and then coming back in about, 20 miles or closer to us, and then it zips back out of the ocean and we can't see it. 1 Lima Fox.
Thank you. Medevac 1 Lima Foxtrot, any chance I can throw you my number, and if you get a video of or a picture, you can send it our way. There's a lot of controllers here pretty interested in seeing what you're looking at there.
Yeah, let me get a piece of paper real quick. Hang on 1 second. Alright, 1 Lima Fox, I'm ready.
Alright, 1 Lima Foxtrot, area code 42555.
Alright, 42555. I have my med crew in the back trying to film it too. They're watching the same thing I'm watching up here.
Medevac 1 Lima Foxtrot, appreciate it. And name is, if you want to just shoot me a text, picture, photo, whatever you got. So we're all pretty curious.
Will do. 1 Lima Fox. And center Medevac 661 Lima Foxtrot. Pass along what's going on off to the right of my aircraft. It's still continuing. It's a red, we're only seeing one. It's a red circle-shaped object that's zipping out over towards the ocean. It disappears for a little bit, and then it zips back in about 20 miles from us off the right side of the aircraft. Been picking it up on TCAS. Comes back in, and then it zips back out over the ocean at a rapid rate of speed, faster than anything I've ever seen move. 1 Lima Fox. I'm trying to get a video of it.
Medevac 661 Lima Foxtrot, Sail Center, welcome back. Salem altimeter 3028, you are cleared to maneuver however you like. One able, proceed direct to Aurora State and advise.
Alright, one able, direct Aurora State, and we'll let you know when we're direct to Aurora. Medevac 661 Lima Foxtrot. For an update on that thing, it keeps zipping in to just barely over Florence and then back out over the ocean.
Medevac 1 Lima Foxtrot, thank you. Yeah, we have a Coast Guard helicopter that's heading down that way. They're just southwest of Newport now. I'm trying to get a hold of them, but no joy, unfortunately.
Roger that. It's definitely higher than the Coast Guard helicopter, I'm sure. They're pretty low, aren't they?
Yeah, they're down around 600 feet, but they are just off the coast. I was hoping they could see anything. I don't know if there's cloud cover, though. Flight Flight 1 Lima Foxtrot. Any chance you want to hit that guard, or that Coast Guard there on guard? Our transmitters probably can't reach them that low, but you should have a pretty good line of sight. It's Coast Guard 606 Coast Guard 606 tree. We just want to hit them on 121.5 there and have them try to come up our frequency just for some questions.
Alright, I'll try to get them Coast Guard 6063. That's what you said?
Coast Guard 6063 Seattle, how do you hear? Hey, I got you 5x5 as well. I know you guys are probably on search and rescue out there. I just wanted to give you a report up ahead, about 20 miles. There's been several reports now of UFO activity moving what appears to be supersonic speeds, kind of inland and then back over the water. We've had multiple altitude reports all the way down to about 14,000 up to flight level 550. I was just wondering if you had any eyes on that out there, if you saw anything. Coast Guard 6063, Roger. Thanks for the reports, and yeah, you can switch back to your frequency if you do happen to see anything out there that looks a little suspicious. It's been reported red and circular, moving really, really fast. If you see that, if you could just come back up on this frequency and let us know, I'd appreciate it.
Last discretion 10,000, 3028 on the meter, and my med crew said they got some good videos they're going to send to me. We'll get over to you guys. 661 on the box.
Can't wait. Plus 1100, unusual report for you. That's a multiple UFO reports. Most recent one was 50 miles west of your position over the coast. Circular, red and white. We've had reports of it at 14,000, and then it'll shoot up as high as flight level 550 is the highest report, in kind of a corkscrew pattern, moving at what appears to be supersonic or even hypersonic speeds. So if you can look out that way and just let us know if you see anything, or if it's, whatever you see, we'd appreciate a report.
Yeah, of course, we'll look west, Alaska 1100, thanks.
How did you get such an accurate description? Was that from another air crew that reported all that?
So we actually had a Medevac Pilatus that was southbound, and it appeared to, it was out over the ocean, and then it came and buzzed them about 20 miles away, same altitude, and then shot back out over the water at very, very, very fast speed. And then we also had a aircraft in high altitude that was, I believe, at 39,000, and it just shot up past him and in front of him and went way up and then kind of corkscrewed back down. And again, very, very fast. So we're trying to figure out what it is. We don't have anything on our radar, not even a little primary target for it.
18.1, we'll send you the videos when we land.
Yep, thank you.
Pilots have claimed to have seen this stuff constantly. I mean, in the first round of hearings, we had 2 different Air Force pilots that were Top Gun pilots testifying, saying that they witnessed UFOs. Well, the thing is that these UAP, UFOs, whatever you want to call them, have been witnessed by regular pilots as well. And it's not new. There's been more than one case. But this reminds me a lot of the Japan Airlines pilot who witnessed one of these things and then was psychologically evaluated and essentially made out to be a crazy by the people above him. And if I remember correctly, most pilots who report this sort of stuff have their pilot's license either threatened to be taken away or taken away because they're deemed psychologically unfit. So now that we have pilots that are less scared to at least some degree to report this stuff, or have to due to safety hazards, which you did before, but you tried not to because you didn't want to lose your license and have the FAA deem you as crazy. It's very interesting now that we have pilots that are reporting this stuff. And if the recording that the pilot claims he took ever comes out, you can guarantee that I will share it here on this channel the second it's released and I can actually access it. Because I would love to see what this pilot saw. Corkscrew motions, super fast speeds, going up to 50,000 plus feet, out over the ocean, then 20 miles off his wing. It's a lot of crazy stuff that's being described here, and he's not the only plane that saw it. So very clearly something happened here. This is not something that should be ignored. And I don't think this has anything to do with the New Jersey drones. I think that they are not connected. But I do think that the New Jersey drone situation, in its own way, has a lot of mystery behind it. I'm not going to say a specific enemy nation is behind this. The government is saying it's not the case. I don't know that I believe them. I think if an enemy nation was behind this, the government probably wouldn't tell us because they wouldn't want us to panic. Because what if these drones are carrying weapons? Suddenly, everybody is going to go outside and start trying to either down them, or they're just going to freak out and panic and riot in the streets and wonder why the government's not doing more. Maybe there's a reason. I don't really know. I do know that there's been accounts that people have tried to film these things, and it's like they have an energy shield around them when they zoom in with a really good camera. Accounts of drones losing all of their battery life when they get close or try to take off when these drones are nearby. Very strange things that sound, almost like what you would expect with a real UFO sighting, like a normal one. Like when people drive, say you're driving along a dirt road at night by yourself and a UFO flies overhead and your vehicle shuts off. And then the typical abduction story. That kind of sounds very similar to what these drones are doing. But I'm not going to go and sensationalize them. I'm not going to say they're a psyop, and I'm not going to say that they're ET either. I'm going to say I don't know what they are. It could go either which way. I'm not a believer in Project Bluebeam, but I am a believer that there's been a cover-up for 80 years. And if these things really are aliens, which, hard to say, I think that if they were going to do something like this, they would just come down and show themselves at this point if they were actually willing to do so. Which makes me think that these are probably human-made somehow. Maybe they're utilizing some form of crash retrieval alien technology to have these crazy effects that they're having when people try to get footage of them up close. If these things are alien, then why are they doing this? What would be the point, and why don't they just come down here? And if you're not interested in eviscerating all of us and taking our resources, just show yourselves already. Stop playing these games, man. It doesn't help anybody. If you're in league with the government's trying to prevent you from doing this, and you're like having talks, and this is some sort of weird sort of dealings you're having, a way to flex the might of this alien race to our government, to let them know that they're not in control and that these aliens can do whatever they want, then fine. But I'm not saying it is or isn't what this is. I'm not saying that these are holograms or Project Bluebeam. I'm not saying that these are aliens. I'm saying stop panicking. Just record the footage. Don't alter it. Don't try to make mock-ups of people shooting at them. And most importantly, recognize that these things are not just over NYC and New Jersey. They've been spotted all over the world, and it could just be possible that the rest of the world is seeing something different. Maybe they're actual UAPs that people are seeing over the rest of the world, and we're just now starting to look up more after the congressional hearings and since these drones started. This is a perfect way to get people looking at the sky. It worked. Now, is there something going on behind the scenes? Maybe. I don't know what the government will want to cover up with this, and I don't know what reason the government would have to, other than maybe to try to obtain more power, which seems, I think there's better ways, if they really wanted to do that at this point, to do it. And I'm not saying they don't, but I don't think that an alien invasion at this point is needed for that. I think that there's plenty of other ways and other enemies they can use to try to unite people around the United States, the biggest superpower on the planet. So, with that being said, I want to go ahead and get into the Iran footage of a drone or UAP, whatever you want to call it. I'm kind of tired of calling them drones because we can't even guarantee they're drones. We don't know what they are. Let's just call them unidentified flying objects. I will just call them UFOs because that's what the word means. It doesn't specifically pertain to only aliens. And let's go ahead and actually get into the Iran footage because this is extremely interesting. They're shooting at an unknown light in the sky with anti-aircraft fire. I haven't found evidence yet that this is fake. If I do, I'll come back and correct myself on it, but it's very interesting footage. Go ahead and check it out. And I want to point out before I roll the clip, this isn't the first time Iran has shot at an unknown light in the sky. Anyway, check it out. Now that you've had a chance to review that for yourself, I can't say for certain if this footage is authentic and that's actually what's happening here. But if it is, this is not the best way to be responding to unknown lights in the sky like this. if your anti-aircraft fire isn't working on it, maybe you should stop shooting at it, because clearly conventional weapons aren't doing the job, and we might start an interstellar war if these really are from another planet or another galaxy, what have you. If these are extraterrestrials, we might be starting a war we can't win. Even with the nuclear technologies that we have, it might not be good enough to put a stop to an alien race that can come here and negate all of our weaponry. So we need to be careful with that, which could also be why the US government doesn't want people to start firing at these drones or something in case they're extraterrestrial. Maybe they just don't want people to start an interstellar war. However, we can't control what other nations do, and you could argue that it's a sign of weakness by not shooting them down. But if there is a chance these are aliens, we shouldn't start by shooting at them. We need to know what their intentions are beforehand, and I think the US government does know what the intentions are, both behind the drones and the UFO phenomenon as a whole. I want to make a video after this one on basically just USOs. I think that that's going to be the next topic to cover, because I think that the USO situation doesn't really get enough of a spotlight. And I think that it's interesting that if these aliens are here, they're hiding out in our oceans, under our waters, and they could be spying on us 24/7. We don't know. And I also want to cover after that, and maybe I'll do this one next actually, I want to make a video in response to Area 52. They did a great job covering the Reddit microbiologist. However, I have some information to input to that I want to add. I was originally going to cover it anyway, but they beat me to it, and I put it off too long, obviously. But I have a couple of different pieces of information I have to carefully put out there without doxing myself and other people that might add to the situation that they might want to know, or you guys might want to know at the very least, I mean. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, remember, like, share, comment, subscribe, tap the notification bell. I know we're all sick of the New Jersey drones. I'm sick of it at this point. Kind of just want to get back to investigating normal UAP, but who knows what the future holds. Hopefully we get some answers, and I hope that you guys on the ground in New Jersey are okay, and that if these things turn out to be hostile, that you guys don't get injured in any way, and that everybody makes it out of this unscathed. Anyway, till next time, peace.